So, continuing. Now, Cassius, uh, okay, speaks. Cassius asks the group of conspirators, but what of Cicero? Shall we sound him? I think he will stand very strong with us. Now, Cassius is one of the, one of the actual plotters. Brutus, as we shall see later on, is one of the noble people. Noble means he's quite good. And when you have such a thing as an assassination to carry out, you cannot afford to be good. Brutus makes three mistakes because of his noble nature. Or in other words, Brutus is good three times, which causes the enterprise to fail and the conspirators lose their lives. Right? So, but Cassius is not like that. Cassius is also noble, but he is more firm. So here he asks, what of Cicero? Cicero is one of the orators, one of the statesmen of Rome, right? Shall we sound him? Shall we go and sound him? Sound him means, shall we try to see how he will take to this attempt at the assassination of Caesar? Shall we try to sound him out? Okay, so shall we sound him? I think he will stand very strong with us. So I have a feeling, my gut feeling is, says Cassius, that Cicero will join our cause. Now, the more noblemen join their cause, what will happen? Once Caesar is assassinated, there will be an immediate repercussion. The people of Rome won't stand it. They're all behind Caesar now. So the more noblemen they have in their group, like Cicero, that's why Cassius, he, brought in Brutus. Brutus is one of the noblemen, right? And the more noblemen there are, so people will think, oh, these people are so wonderful, they're so high-born, they're so aristocratic. And if these people are assassinated, then surely Caesar deserved the assassination. So they're trying to bring in as many noble people as possible into the group of conspirators. If an ordinary Roman were to assassinate Caesar, Caesar is walking along the streets of Rome, some ordinary Roman goes and stabs him, then immediately not only be executed, they'll be drawn and quartered. Drawn and quartered means that ordinary Roman, his feet will be tied to a pair of horses here and his hands to them, they'll be pulled apart. They'll be tortured, right? Or, so many forms of torture. So here they're trying to bring in as many of the noble men of Rome as possible. So Casca says, let us not leave him out. Let us not leave him out of the group. Casca. Sina. No, by no means. Right? Metellus symbol. He says, oh, let us have him. Let us bring him into our way. For his silver hair. Silver hair means his white hair. What is white hair a symbol of? White hair is a symbol of wisdom. Right? For his silver hairs will purchase us a good opinion. Now once the deed is done, they need as many positive things on their behalf as they can have. His white hairs, his silver hairs, will purchase them a good opinion in the eyes of the Roman citizens. Right? Once the deed is done. Right? Will purchase a good opinion and by men's voices to commend our deeds. So if they look at Cicero, Cicero is a noble Roman, right? He's like this, he's an orator, he's a statesman. Cicero comes and stands before the populace, dignified, in stature like this. Then men's opinion shall be purchased to commend our deeds. Commend means to recommend our deeds, right? It shall be said his judgment ruled our hand. So people will talk among themselves, Cicero, the wise old statesman, he has directed the conspirators, the younger conspirators to do. If Cicero, such a wise man, has, given orders, then Caesar surely Caesar had to go. Because of, so many reasons, which the conspirators will then put forward before the public. Caesar was a tyrant. Caesar was a persecutor of us Romans. They'll put forward their reasons, and people will say, "Oh, Caesar has done orders. Surely Caesar needs to." So the populace, they have to be persuaded. Because all these conspirators are citizens of Rome. They cannot go somewhere. They have to stay in Rome, right? And to stay in Rome means they have to persuade the Roman public. Okay, Caesar being such a popular ruler, if anybody assassinated, they'll tear the assassinator to pieces, right? So this is the thinking of the conspirators. You see how they're trying to make things move in their own to their own benefit, right? It shall be said that his judgment ruled our hands. Our youths and wildness shall know it appear, but all be buried in his gravity. Our youths. What is a youth like? Okay, like jumping up and down. Youth. Brutus, Metellus Cimber, Casca, Cinna, even Brutus. They're all youths compared to the wisdom and the age of Cicero. Right? Our youths and wildness shall know it appear, not appear, but all be buried in his gravity. Gravity is the dignity, the overbearing, the appearance, right? The stature that the person has, the dignified bearing. All our youths and wildness will be buried in his gravity, right? Gravity is the appearance of seriousness, right? So no, right? You don't have to do anything. People will believe you that you are serious, right? Right? So, now here I told you Brutus is a noble man. He does 1 or 2, 3 or 4 good things, right? The element of goodness is not conducive to their enterprise. So what does Brutus say? Oh, name him not. Name not Cicero. See, the other conspirators are thinking how they will, get away with the murder, with the assassination of Caesar. But Brutus says, oh, name him not. Now he proceeds to give the reasons, right? Because he's a good person, right? Now, see, oh, name him not. Let us not break with him. Let us not mix with him. Let us not break bread with him. Let us not break with him. For he will never follow anything that other men begin. This is the first reason here. He will never follow anything that other men begin. If Cicero were to come to the decision, he should do this so that he will inculcate many people into his enterprise. But if other men tell him, Cicero do this, he will not follow. This is what Brutus says. And he persuades the conspirators, the first mistake he makes. Right? So what Cassius immediately, then leave him out. Right? So, okay. Casca, indeed he is not fit. Indeed, Cicero is not fit for our enterprise. Right? Now, that element of goodness is being masked. They think the word noble is masking the word goodness is not an element that should be taken into account in such an enterprise. The word noble masks that element of goodness, you see. So immediately the conspirators agree. Brutus is noble. Yeah? You see what I mean by masks? He's noble, but he's also good. Good means, okay, yes. Okay. No? Indeed, he is not fit, says Casca. Decius. Now, Brutus makes a second mistake. Coming to the second mistake of Brutus. Decius Brutus asks, shall no man else be touched but only Caesar? No one else should be killed along with Caesar. Shall no man else be touched but only Caesar? Cassius. No, Cassius. Again, he's saying, Decius, well urged. We have not thought of that. Well urged. Let's think of it now. Huh? I think it is not meet. I think it is not suitable. Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. Now Cassius comes to the correct, he hits the nail right on the head. Mark Antony is the right-hand man of Caesar. He's young, he's full of fire, right? Full of this element of, he's a sportsman. He throws parties, wild parties. He's full of this youth, and is beloved of Caesar. If Caesar were to fall, then Antony would immediately, turn the populace of Rome against the conspirators. That's what happens actually. Now, see, they've thought of this before. But Brutus persuades them not to kill Antony. How does he do that? See, Cassius is saying, Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive. It's not meet. It's not suitable that Mark Antony should be left out. He too should be killed. We shall find of him a shrewd contriver. We shall find Antony to be shrewd. Shrewd is clever. Contriver. He'll somehow change things in his favor. His favor is the conspirators will be wiped out, right, by the populace. A shrewd contriver. And his means, if he improve them, may well stretch so far as to annoy us all. He has some means. And if he stretch them, if he improve upon what he has, if he gets more and more people into his cause, in his means, if he improve those means, may well stretch so far, may become so all-inclusive that they may annoy us all. They're not only annoyed, they're not only irritated, they're all wiped out by Mark Antony. Right? So, which to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together. To prevent all this, says Cassius, let Antony and Caesar, let them be assassinated together. Now Brutus makes the second mistake. Our course will seem to bloody Caius Cassius. Our course will seem to bloody. Assassination is all very good. Not be outright decimation. Decimation is to put a man against a wall and to take, a machine gun and keep on pumping bullets with guns. Right? Our course will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius. To cut the head off and then hack the limbs. We're not only decapitating Rome, we're not only removing the head of Caesar, but we should not also hack the limbs. Mark Antony is like the limbs of Rome. We should not hack the head and then chop the limbs. Our course will seem too bloody. Let us not touch Mark Antony. To remove the head is enough. To remove Caesar is enough. What will Mark Antony do? Right? So, then hack the limbs, like wrath in death and envy afterwards. Why do you kill a person? Because you have wrath. Wrath is anger. You kill a person mainly because you are angry with him. Like wrath in death and envy afterwards. Envy means you become jealous after his death. You keep on stabbing him after his death. So to assassinate Mark Antony along with Caesar is like wrath in death and envy afterwards. Our course would seem too bloody. Let us just hack the head and leave the limbs untouched. Let us leave the things are hacked. Remove the head of Rome. Let us leave Mark Antony untouched. Follow it. Let us be sacrificers. We are offering Julius Caesar as a sacrifice to the gods of Rome. Let us be sacrificers, but not butchers. Caius. Butchers. We don't want to be butchers. Butchers, you know what butchers do. They take an animal, right? Let us not be butchers. We will all stand up against the spirit of Caesar. Together we will stand up against the mighty spirit of Caesar. And in the spirit of men there is no blood. If we're going to stand up against the spirit, spirit is something which is like the soul. There's no blood. We're going to remove Caesar without really harming Rome. Right? There's no blood in the spirit. Oh, then that we could come by Caesar's spirit and not dismember Caesar. So Brutus says, if we could somehow remove the spirit of Caesar, remove the spirit from his body would fall away. Somehow you could do that. You could somehow come by the spirit of Caesar and not dismember Caesar. What are they going to do? They're going to dismember. Each part of Caesar will be cut, will be stabbed, and not dismember Caesar. But alas, Caesar must bleed for it. We cannot come by the spirit of Caesar. Alas, Caesar must bleed for it. And gentle friends, let us kill him boldly. Let us do it with a vigor. Does not do it half-hearted. Stab, remove, and let us not do it half-hearted. Let us do it boldly. Let us kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. If they were to kill Antony along with Caesar, that would be wrath, right? Extreme fury, right? Not wrathfully. Let us carve him as a dish fit for the gods. During festivals they carve the meat so that the gods are appeased, they are satisfied. Let us carve Caesar as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him as a carcass fit for the hound. Dogs, hunting dogs, dogs. Let us not hew him. Hew him means take a cleaver and you chop the meat and you throw it to the hounds. Let us not hew him. Hew is to chop with the cleaver. Let us not hew him as a carcass fit for the hounds. Let us not remove Antony. That's what he's saying. Right? And let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up their servants to an act of rage. Now he's becoming emotional about it. Let our hearts, as subtle masters do. What does the master do to the servant? He stirs him up. He does this to the servant. The servant will become enraged. Master says, do this. The servant will do it very under that force. Under that force of that emotion, he'll do the work properly. Right? On the other hand, if the master says, please, do this. The servant, okay, I'll do it, master, soon. What does the subtle master do? He stirs up his servant to an act of rage. So now he's saying, Julius is saying, let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up their servants to an act of rage. Let us be moved enough to assassinate Caesar. Let our hearts move us to assassinate Caesar. And after seeing to chide them, what does the master do? The master makes them enraged, makes them furious. They do the work well. Then you are angry. Why did you get angry? Now after the master seems to chide them. He seems to, scold them. The servants have done everything properly. This is the way master should handle, right? So let our hearts be moved enough, like subtle masters to assassinate Caesar. This shall make our purpose necessary and not envious. So if we do it in this frame of mind, assassinating Caesar, if we do it in this frame of mind, then in the eyes of the populace, our purpose will seem necessary. We're not envious, we're not jealous of Caesar's stature, we're not jealous of Caesar's position in Rome, we're not jealous of his wealth, right? Which so appearing to the common eyes, we shall be called purgers, not murderers. So we have purged Rome. In the eyes of the populace, we have purged. Purged is to remove something impure. Will be called purgers, not murderers. And for Mark Antony, think not of it. For he can do no more than Caesar's arm and Caesar's head is off. Right? What can the arm do? What can the arm do when the head is off? Nothing. Caesar and Antony are like one body and one soul. Caesar is like the head, Antony is like the arms. Arms are the things which act. Right? When the head is off, what can the arms do? When Caesar is assassinated, what can Antony do? This is the thinking of noble. It's masking the word good. Noble goodness. As a result, later on the battlefield, Brutus will die by his own sword. Right? So, stop there. Right?